Hey Dallas, how's it going, buddy? I'm in my backyard for the rain rolls in. Mr. Knife Nut, Mr. Dallas, the sniper. My adopted Sling kid. Hey, dude, your video is like almost like 450 views now. John, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, ask Dallas knife questions. He knows that stuff better than I do. I need to go fix my catch box. There we go. That thing's almost 2. Yeesh. Got one target on there I just put up the other day. It's that microfiber on the bottom all by itself, and just put it up a couple days ago and it's already half tore off. I think it's because the string that I got going across is wire, and then I actually have aluminum arrow shafts to keep them separated. I think those arrow shafts are ripping it to shreds. That one is about to fall off already. I was shooting earlier after work with my short draw, and I couldn't hit crap. I had new bands on it and seemed to be doing a little better tonight. All right, all the viewers that aren't Dallas and John, they're nerding out over a knife, which is okay. They're good guys. Boom, I got a cowbell from Simpleshot hanging up there, so it makes a nice ring, except the ammo bounces around when you hit it. Looks like we got a bunch of people online already. Make sure you guys double tap and hit that like button, much appreciated. Helps the YouTube algorithm thing so people can find us better. My lives have been going nuts lately. Can you shoot a water bottle full of water? Yes, you can. I don't have one. What would be a problem is depending on the water bottle. If it's one of those heavier duty ones, full of water, enough power and ammo, kinetic energy to poke a hole in it. I've seen someone shoot a gallon jug of water with like a 9.5mm with some significant bands on it, and they were able to put a hole in it. So if it was one of those cheap bottles of water that squishes when you squeeze it real easy, that one might. But the problem you have is because it's hard and there's pressure in there because the air has nowhere to go, it's going to be hard, and if it doesn't puncture, the ammo can bounce back or it can fly into places you don't want it to go. So can I? Yes. I'm not going to tonight, but I do have plans for my Slingshot slow-mo series. If you check that out on my channel. I'm going to shoot a can of carbonated water. I'm going to shake that sucker up until it's hard as a rock. And then I'm going to film it getting hit in slow motion. Watch it go. I'm just got to wait for the right time and the right chance. I probably could have done that tonight, but I wanted to go live. I recorded a video yesterday. And I'm good on videos being released over the next week and a half or so. So I'm putting it off until we get another nice day. Use that ammo man of mud. I don't know what that means, but I'm using 8mm steel bearings. Not shooting as good today as I usually do. shooting this one. This is my main shooter. I came out after work today and just could not hit a darn thing. I did finally start hitting a little bit, but actually they make ammo made of clay, which is like mud. And when you don't have to go collect it, like these are steel, and I have a magnet over here. When I'm done shooting, I'll go pick all my ammo up. The clay pellets, 9.5 millimeter, those melt down as it gets wet, and they're environmentally friendly. So when I go for walks in the woods to goof around, that's what I take with me. I used to shoot clay, and I had a set up just to the left of what you see on here, and it was all clay, and there must be 5,000-6,000 rounds sitting there on the ground, and it's just turned to, it looks like dog poo. If you get it on your shoe, it feels like dog poo. It just doesn't smell like dog poo. Dog poo. Your neighbor said you broke his bathroom window. I don't think so, because my neighbor right there, who is the one that would be in line of fire, that house is abandoned and about to be torn down. So they might not mind if I broke a window. But no, they did not. The neighbors know I'm out here. In fact, one of them thought it was cool that I was doing YouTube in my backyard. Yes, the neighbor, the next house over, bought that house. It's abandoned, and it's in such bad shape. It looks fine, but it's in such bad shape inside that it is not worth repairing. He's going to tear it down and build a bigger house so he can start a family. It looks like a nice house. But from what I understand, when you go in there, the electric's all hanging out of the walls. There was trash lined up around the walls, and there's mold everywhere. There's no basement, but it had a hole in the bathroom floor. The lady was very sick, and she and her son turned into hermits. And when she passed away and her kids had to come in and clean the house out, no, and that's not squatters. There's not even a squatter would go in that house. When the lady passed away and her daughter had to come out and clean it out, they brought a dumpster in. They took multiple pickup trucks full of trash to the dump. They brought a dumpster in and filled it to the hilt, and there was still more to go. And they had to wear respirators in there because the smell was so bad. When she had the windows open, you literally could smell it out in the yard. But her son, I believe, had autism or something, some sort of disability. And now he's with his sister, and he's able to get the help that he needs. So the neighbor next to that showed me the drawings of the new house that's going to be there. It's pretty sweet. It's going to be a garage up toward the front and the house in the back. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2 stories. We're going to have a very noisy summer. So I might be out here doing this stuff, and it's going to be boom, boom, bunch of noise. Anyway, did the tree make it rot? No, but that tree that's over in her yard is pretty much, well, it's still got some life in it, but it's done a lot of damage and lost a lot of stuff. The tree that you can kind of see just over this way in my yard, I had people out trimming trees and cutting down a big willow tree I had behind me a couple of years ago, and I thought I was going to take all these trees down. And the guy said, no, those are elm trees. They're just fine. They're really good at making dead wood. So I said, okay, I'll save my money. Because taking a tree down is a buttload of money. Yes, it is Royal Rangers. You guessed it, MGM. I was one when I was a kid in the 70s, 60s, late 60s, when it first started. And I'm a leader now. I believe in it, and I'm actually taking slingshots to our big camp this summer to have it as an event for the kids. At least I've been told I can, but they haven't approved it yet. Up to 140. We're up to 25, 27 likes. Make sure you guys double tap on that screen to like it, or go up and hit the like button. It's much appreciated. If you tune into some of my lives where I'm not here in my backyard when the weather's bad, I'm actually in my church basement, and you'll see Royal Ranger stuff all over the wall. We have an archery range down there, and they let me shoot down there. Not very accurate. I'm not shooting my best today. I'm not going to hit every time, but I've been hitting fairly regular here. Just got that bell on the top. Zoom in just a little bit. Went to training in the 90s. Yeah, I've been to a couple of trainings. Went to one last year, all the way up in northern Michigan. Way up there by Canada. Boom, got that little 40 on the bottom. That's a leather one my friend Barefoot Slinger let me try out to test it. And I put it outside so I could really put it through the ringer. You wasn't aiming for the bell though. No, I was aiming for something else. Ever used a fishing slingshot rifle? No, but I have seen those, and I just saw some online today. They are really cool. I don't really fish. I won't say I'm not an outdoor person because I like to be outdoors, but I'm not a hunter-gatherer. I'm a domesticated city dweller that sits behind a desk all day. I just do this because I love doing it. But I have seen those slingshot rifles. They are cool. And I want the ones that looks like a crossbow, and you can pull it back, and it loads in. I want to try one of those. That looks like fun. I do, and I just recorded and edited today the video of the Hammer XT from Simpleshot. It is a bow with a mount on top so you can shoot arrows. We have an archery club at my church, and I use that to shoot alongside the kids. So I did a review testing the draw weight and the feet per second speed of the arrows and stuff like that. That video will come out in probably about a week and a half. Tell us what you're aiming at. Okay, I'm sorry, I should do that. What slingshot is that? This one is from Simpleshot. That's their logo right there. This is a advanced version. This is not one you would want to get to start because it's adjustable. I can make the frames fatter or skinnier. These things slide in and out. You can see there's screws there to adjust them. It was like my 4th or 5th slingshot, and I've got it dialed in to what I like. And so I love this. This is my main shooter. I also have, I got some others in my pockets here. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Must be in this pocket. Yeah. This is also a Simpleshot. This was the first one that I really learned to shoot good on. It's called the Scout LT2. This one is like under $50. You can actually buy a starter kit from Simpleshot that has everything you need. It's got targets, a fair amount of ammo, bands, all kind of stuff that you need to get started. And it's a little more than $50 because it's got a lot of stuff in it, but this is a darn good slingshot. I use this one, as you can tell, the bands are longer. It's a more advanced shooting, which I'll do in a little while. It's called long draw. I'm just getting warmed up on my one that I shoot well. So Simpleshot is the place to go in the description of this video. If you click down there, there's a link to Simpleshot. If you follow that link, it helps me out a little bit. I get a teeny little commission, and I will probably spend all the money that I get on that commission on more Simpleshot stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to shoot at the cowbell that's hanging down from the very top. It's right. Let's do a couple shots at that because you guys can actually hear it. Plus, I have a microphone down there pointing at the target. So when I hit stuff, you should be able to hear it better than if I didn't have it down there. So we're going to shoot at the cowbell a few times. Oh, we hammered it that time. I just ordered one. Can't wait. Let's have money in the bank to plink all day. No, I'm not plinking all day. Today is where I work. I work Tuesday and Wednesday in the office, and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday Monday, Thursday, Friday, I get to work from home unless I have obligations that have me at the office. So today I came out for like 10 minutes on my lunch break. After work, I had an hour or so before supper, so I put some new bands on and I tried my speed shooting slingshot out and did a little practice that way. Then after dinner, I got an hour, hour and a half before the sun sets. I like to come out when I get a chance. It's supposed to start raining here tonight for like 3 straight days, so my outdoor time is going to be limited. So I decided let's do another live tonight just because it's fun. Boom, hit the cowbell again. So no, I'm not retired. I got about 4 or 5 more years. I hope you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's about that big, but it's growing very little, but it's growing. Yes, yours has arrows or balls. The Hammer XT, it's called. It shoots arrows, and it's got another fork piece that unscrews and slides down in, and you can make it a regular slingshot. I'm not going to do that, only because I really want to just use it to shoot with the kids in archery. Plus, those forks are bigger. I like these. They're 90 millimeter. If I get bigger or smaller forks, I have to adjust some things, and my muscle memory is dialed in for this. So I will use mine strictly for arrows. Let's see how good you really are. Aim for the bell. That's what I've been hitting. That was before you even asked me to. All right, this is going to be a little harder. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can. Making sure I've got my vision right. Right over there. Let me adjust the camera for you. Right there. There's a green frog. I got it at the dollar store. He's tied up there with the paracord. Let's see if we can hit that little guy. He's a smaller target, but he's fun to hit because he flies around. All right, here we go. I think you can see me. You don't need to see me. You just want to see the frog. Remember, he's right there. Little low. I got some fun coming up a little bit. I got a pop can we're going to cut in half. So stay tuned for that. Ooh, I almost got his leg. Come on, little frog. Meet your maker. Boy, I'm so close. Oh. That was darn close. All right, here we go. Nope, that wasn't the one. But we're going to hit that little dude. He's a little frog from the dollar store. I think I got 5 of them for like $1.75 because it's not the dollar store anymore. It's the $1.75 store. And they are holding up really well. I barely nicked him and spun him a little bit. Let's get a good hit on him, though. I am all over him. I'm right on the edges. I'm just not hitting him solid. Makes a good smack when I get him, though. Oh, for some reason, I think these bands are a little wonky. That's what I'm blaming it on, because I usually shoot pretty well with this and put new bands on, and after work I came out and I just was all over the place. Seem to always be low, which could be a fundamental thing. All right, let's try a couple of things. We're going to hit him. Sorry this is taking so long. Ask my sling friends. I'm usually better than this. Jeez. I have to abandon that target for a wee bit. Go back to that bell. Oh, I nicked him in the noggin. He moved. But I got him. There we go. That was a good one. I smacked him pretty darn good on that one. Show my ammo. Edward, Here we go. 8mm bearings. The 3 standard sizes for tournament shooting are 7mm, or for Americans 1/4 inch, 8mm, or for Americans 5/16, and 9.5mm or 3/8 for American measurements. I know I get a lot of people from around the world on here, so I try and speak in millimeters. I'm very used to millimeters because my other hobby is RC planes, and everything there is measured in millimeters because it all comes from overseas. So I'm comfortable talking metric on this stuff. Those are the 3 standard sizes. I've settled on 8mm because I can use thin, easy to pull bands, and I get the speed that I want on these bands. I did a measurement the other day. I got a chronograph. I'm getting about 210 to 220 feet per second, which comes out to about 65 meters per second, I think. Can you please tell Murray congrats on Soldier of the Month? He's a sling shooter and watches. Well, whoever you are, Murray, congrats. I do enjoy my slingshots. This is my second hobby. It's quickly taking over and becoming my main hobby. Let's go for the bell again. I'm just out here all the time doing it, and my YouTube channel's growing around it. I just passed the 1,000 mark yesterday. Whoop, whoop, whoop for me. But 500 of those subscribers are from the RC and aviation world, because I've done a lot of aviation content and a lot of RC content in the past. And still, one of my most popular videos has like 6,000 or 7,000 views, and it's a RC video that I did pre-COVID, and it's still popular because it taught a skill that everybody needs. Seem like a cool guy. I try and be for my age. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I was a programmer in my past, and I like technology. I do video for a living, live seminars and training and stuff. So I'm playing with computers and a lot of technical stuff all the time. For a guy my age, I'm probably about as nerdy as they come. Bingo. Leona, said I think that's him. It's a catapult, yes. In America, we call them slingshots. Overseas and in down under, they call them catapults. And more people here are starting to call them catapults as well. When I think of a catapult, I think more of like a trebuchet kind of thing. Which really, these are handheld trebuchets, so. All right, somebody has a message for review. Yeah, I don't know. I can't hardly read it. Why do they call it a slingshot? Let's not get into that argument. David and Goliath used the slingshot. Well, David did. Goliath didn't. They used something. David used something. A couple of names for it. I think it's a paraslingshot, or a parsling, or a shepherd sling. I actually have one I made out of paracord, and I suck at it. And unfortunately, because I live in town, I have nowhere to practice it. So one of these days when I'm camping or something like that, I'm going to take it with me and take a tennis ball or something and practice with it. Because they are cool. When you hit hard, when you throw those things accurate, man, they pack a punch. You're a genius, right? No, I would not go that far. I've been called everything but a genius. Can it shoot arrows? Is there an attachment for arrow shooting? Yes, I was just commenting because somebody asked that same question. I have a special one called the Hammer XT from Simpleshot that has, I forget what the thing in the middle is called, but it's like it's fibers that the arrow sits on. It's much bigger. It's got a much heavier pull. This pull back is like 5 pounds. That thing's like 20 pounds. So it's a beast to fire. But when I shoot, when the weather's bad here, I go to my church because we have an archery range in the basement and they let me shoot there. It's only 3 blocks away. And I got it so I could shoot archery with the kids. I'm an instructor, but I'm a terrible shooter. But I figure if I'm going to be a terrible shooter, make it more fun with a slingshot. And once I get it dialed in, I'll be a lot better. But I'm not competitive with those kids yet. They smoke me. I wouldn't say I'm a genius because I knew the Bible story, David and Goliath. I grew up in church, so I know a lot of Bible stories. You shooting steel ball bearings? Bryant asked. Yes, 8mm steel is what I'm shooting. The common sizes are 7, 8, and 9.5mm. Those are the ones that are allowed for tournaments. And I'm not a hunter. I'm not a wild game person. I just do it because I like to plink and I like to shoot stuff. But I'm in town, so guns are out, and archery is a lot more issue because the arrows get buried in the ground and stuff like that. These, I just take a magnet when I'm done and go pick up all the balls. You can't shoot the blue side of a barn because I don't have a blue side on my barn. So you're correct. Use your other eye. I don't really want to do that. Quick story, when I was learning to be an instructor for archery, they have to check your eye dominance to see if you're left or right eye dominant. I'm left-handed, but I kick right-footed and bat right-handed. But I throw with a ball left-handed. I eat left-handed, so I've always figured I was left eye dominant, so that's how I took everything. Well, there's 2 tests to test your eye dominance for archery, for anything. And one of them said I was left eye dominant, one of them said I was right eye dominant. But I trust the one on right eye dominant, and so I switched over from shooting left-handed to right-handed. And that is how I shoot now, and I think it actually helps because I'm left-handed. I'm holding in my left hand. It looks like my right to you because the camera's flipped. It looks like it's my right hand, but it's my left hand. Because I'm left-handed, I have that strength here, and I think it helps me hold the slingshot steady. I think it helped me progress quicker than if I was still shooting left-handed. Man, I'm shooting terrible right now. You'll put your eye out. A quote from A Christmas Story, my wife's favorite movie of all time. No need to mention Imperial. I just do it because there's a few Americans, you know, that watch this stuff, so. But we pretty much all refer to these as 9.5s too, or 8mm. So yeah, I may stop doing that. Team associate? Not sure what you're talking about. I am an affiliate for Simpleshot. If you want to buy Slingshot stuff or get a starter kit or get your first Slingshot, you go there and use my link. Helps me out a little bit so I can keep growing the hobby and keep growing this hobby and doing videos. Vintage nerd, thank you. I take that as a term of endearment. I will not. Is Wrist Rocket a company name? No, it's not. It's one of those things that it's kind of like, it's a hard example to do, but like, okay, no, I'm not going to go there. Way back when those little baby changing things started putting them in the bathrooms, there was that one company that made them. Everybody refers to that device as that company's deal, even though multiple companies make it. The Wrist Rocket, there's a lot of companies that make Wrist Rocket style slingshots. If you go on Amazon and search Slingshot, you'll see lots of them. The Wrist Rockets, their problem is the bands are so big and fat, they're hard to pull back, hard to hold steady, and hard to shoot accurate. I actually did a video on my channel. If you go to my channel and check it out on how to fix your Wrist Rocket, and I show you how to put flat bands on it, and it shoots every bit as good as a regular slingshot once you get it dialed in. The pull is easy, it's easy to shoot, things just work. Plus, Wrist Rockets are not allowed in competition. And, fun trivia fact, I live in Wisconsin, and in the capital of Wisconsin, Madison, about a 20-minute drive from me, it is against the law to own a Wrist Rocket. That's right, you can't own a Wrist Rocket in Madison, but you can go to Walmart in Madison and buy one. Figure it out now. Hi from Arizona, what is better, tubes or bands for your slingshot? That's a loaded question. It's like asking what's better, apples or oranges. It's a matter of preference. For competition, most people are shooting bands today because they're easier pull generally. But when you think of tubes, you're thinking of those big ones from wrist rockets. They make little tiny tubes like the size of pencil lead now. They can throw this 8mm lead pretty well. So tubes are very popular. One of the events at our tournaments is speed shooting. And they're very popular because the pouch always comes back exactly where you need it instead of twisted like this one does. So people will use tubes very much for speed shooting. Some people prefer tubes over regular. And when it's windy, bands will vibrate and you can't shoot. But tubes just cuts right through the wind. So if it's a windy day and you want to shoot, get a slingshot with tubes on it. So they are viable. It's just the majority of the people are using flat bands. I bet you know Josh is in Hicks from OK. Yes, I know Josh. He's actually working on a custom slingshot for me, a piston gapper in colors I picked out. He said it's going to be done this week. Boom. So yes, I know Josh. Hey, Raking Raccoon, how's it going, man? Hit that like button. Yes. Down under, we call it a slingshot or Shanghai phonetic spelling. So slingshot is pronounced Shanghai. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I know Hicks in Oklahoma. I met him at the tournament, and he's building me a custom sling. Good guy, an incredible shot. Holy moly. The tournament, he was like 30, 40 yards back, and he was hitting like a 50mm spinner, just one after another, just nonstop, just boom, boom, boom. And my friend that went with me, very much an amateur, was just sitting there. How's he do that? I want one of his slingshots. It's like, dude, you're not ready for his slingshot. No, I'm not in Oklahoma. I am in Wisconsin. Just about an hour north of Illinois, about 2.5 hours north of Chicago. We have unbelievably beautiful weather, but we got rain rolling in tonight. It's going to rain for like 3 days. Hi from New York. How's it going, Mr. Hunter? What taper am I shooting? These are the tritium bands from Weston Crockett, Hawk Sling, Tritium Sling Co. I'm using 0.45 bands. I believe this is a 22 to 12 taper. I've also got pink ones that I use on my long draws, which are a different taper because it's so 22 or 2012 is what I'm shooting. If I pulled them off, I could tell you because I always write on the end of them what they are. So if I don't use them right away, I know what they are when I go get them. But 2212 is kind of my short draw spot with 0.45. And if, in case you don't know, 0.45 is the thickness of the band. They make them all the way up to like 2mm. I don't even want to know how heavy that draw is going to be. That's for shooting some big ammo. How about Green Bay? That is about 2.5 to 3 hours north of me. I've been there a few times, never been to a football game there, but I've been to Green Bay a few times for work. It's a pretty cool place. Of course, they got good beer. And the one place we went to, I don't drink. One place we went to, they asked me, would you like a beer? I was like, no, I don't drink. How about a root beer? We make it right here. Man, that was the best root beer I ever had. Titletown Brewery, right near the stadium. Wisconsin has stupid laws. No weed, no razor rockets. Yeah. Don't get me started. I'm not talking politics here, but yeah, there's some stupid things that happen in Wisconsin. But I mean, if you think about it, though, I think every state has some really dumb laws and they do some dumb stuff. I think this just, you can't hunt with a slingshot in Wisconsin. So I'm not a hunter anyway, but that just means the squirrels in my yard are safe. There, we got that sucker. You said previously that you're shooting 240 with bands. That's fast. I'm not sure these are 240. I think I'm more in the range of 220. There's another one of the sling shooters that's really good up on the, I think he's on the East Coast somewhere. Coin Workers, his online name. He might pop in later. Who knows? I saw him shooting the long draw, which let's shoot some long draw. I haven't done that yet. Let me put this. I'll throw that down there. Long draw is where you pull the bands back like this instead of here, so you're getting more. And if you get the right size bands and right taper, I think he was shooting 0.4 or 0.45, but he had a bigger taper on him. I'm using like 1812 because I'm still learning this process. He got 270. So yeah, that's fast. When I tested that slingshot that shoots arrows, I tested it against a Genesis competition bow that the kids use in their NASP tournaments. And the bow was shooting 130 and my slingshot was only shooting 110. But these are shooting, I got a solid 210 or 220 out of them. Not quite 240, but it's very achievable. What about band maintenance to keep it tip top? It's really not much band maintenance other than don't screw up and hit your frame because that cuts the band. Generally, they're good for anywhere from 200 to 400 or 500 shots. They generally break up here by the pouch because of where they're tied, which is good because if they break, they just shoot that way. They don't generally break up here unless you make mistakes. Just keep them out of the direct UV when you're not using them. Keep them stored away nice. And if you shoot all the time, you're going to wear them out before they'll go bad. We're going to keep shooting at that bell. This is a more advanced skill, and I'm still learning it, so I'm not as accurate. Thanks for the good info. That's what I like doing. Aaron? Yeah, Aaron, it looks like. I love teaching. I love providing information. I think that's kind of my niche on these YouTube lives with the Slingshot community. Get a lot of people asking me those questions, where sometimes the other folks doing lives, it's more about the banter and silliness of having fun with a slingshot, which I love too, and I'm having fun. That was a bad shot, by the way. I hit the top of the target. Told you I'm not as good at this. I got the wire that it's hanging on. Where is home? I am in Wisconsin, just south of the Madison capital. About an hour north of the Illinois border, straight up the center of the state. And one of the fun things about this long draw, because you see it's right here, if you get it wrong, you get what's called a butterfly kiss or a little kiss. You can see I got like 3 marks right there from the last couple of days. When you have your fundamentals and technique proper, you don't get it. But when you get lazy and don't pay attention is when you get hit. My muscle memory is not completely there where I don't have to worry about it. So I have to think through the process when I'm shooting, when I'm talking to you guys. Sometimes I get lazy. You know what? I think it's about time to shoot a can. Cans are fun. Who wants to see a can cut? Got to hit that bell first. Hit that bell. If you guys like this, I'm trying to make some cool stuff with slingshots on YouTube. More than just live. So subscribe to my channel. I got a series called Slingshot Slow-Mo. Has special edition for Easter where we shot the Easter Bunny. Chocolate Easter Bunny. It was pretty disturbing for kids. It could have been traumatic. We put a hole right through his noggin. Do I do tournaments? There's one that just started this year called the Midwest Spring Sling. It was in Indiana. It was like 5-6 hours from me. I did make it to that one. There's a number of tournaments here in the U.S. Unfortunately, they're far enough away or in a time with my work schedule where I cannot get away to go to them. So I'm only doing the one tournament a year. I wish I could do more. The next big one is the East Coast Sling Tournament in Pennsylvania, and it's like a 9.5-hour drive. And I'm not a big driving fan, so I don't really want to drive 9.5 hours to spend 2 days and then turn around and drive 9.5 hours back. That's just not my idea of a good time, so I'm not going to be able to make that one. Yes, some of the tournaments, the tournament we just had, the Midwest Spring Sling, we had about 80 to 90 competitors. I think there was 42 or 45 in the pro category that I shot in, and there was about 40 or so in the amateur category, and a few people registered and didn't show up. placed number 20 in the pro category, seeing as I've only been shooting 18 months. That was exactly what my goal was. I was very happy with the outcome. I achieved my goal. There, we got it. Woohoo! 20 minutes west of Green Bay. What little town up there? Let me know. What makes a great shooter? Is it just reps? The slingshots help, but this is a nice fancy slingshot. It's under 50 bucks at Simpleshot. You know what? You can use a tree branch with some strap with some elastic on it. It works just fine. I can hit almost as good with this as I can with my other ones, and better at times. So the slingshot isn't what makes it. It's kind of like a camera. A professional with a cell phone camera can outshoot an amateur with a $5,000 camera. The big thing that makes you better in slingshot shooting is technique. Good bands matter, and just practice. I shot from about January through the tournament in March. I probably shot 5 to 6 days a week, and I would get off at least a couple hundred shots a day. And some people are getting 1,000 or 2,000 a day. I still work, so I can't do that. But yes, repetition, muscle memory, and technique, the physics of it. You said it looks fun. Go check my website out, or not my website, my YouTube channel. It's linked in the description. I have a Slingshot Basics course, which is 4 or 5 videos teaching you the basics to get you started. It goes over like the different styles of frames, because there's all kind of crazy frames, what they look like, have different kinds of grips. There's different ways to hold the slingshot. It talks about ammo. It talks about anchor points, about aiming, pouches, bands, all those different kinds of things, and helps you get started. Once you go through that and you practice a little, you should be at least getting close to hitting a paper plate. So I'm going to go hang up can. We're going to shoot it in half. So yeah, 12-minute studios. Go check my, go subscribe to my channel and check that series out. And if you decide you want to get a slingshot, use that Simpleshot link. And that helps me out a little bit to help keep me in the hobby and keep me going. And I appreciate all the help and support. Walworth County, I know where that's at. Where can I buy one? Simpleshot. Simpleshot. I mentioned it multiple times. I'm a believer. Not all my slingshots are Simpleshot. This one obviously isn't. This one here is a even more advanced one. It's handmade out of a, we'll talk about that one later. Simpleshot is a really good resource. They have all kind of everything that you need for a slingshot to get started. They start at like $15, $20. And the metal one that I shoot all the time, this one's like 120, but it's adjustable and it's got some other features in it. You don't need that to start. This one was my first slingshot that I learned to shoot really well with. It's under $50. And Simpleshot actually has a starter kit that has this slingshot, sets of bands, some collection of ammo, some targets, everything you need to get started. And so I would recommend Simpleshot is the place. And once you get good, there's a lot of people out making custom frames. I've actually got one on order right now, supposed to be done sometime this week, I hope. Ask if Green Bay had a law on the wrist. I have no idea. I live down here. If I lived up there, it's just I uncovered that when I was looking to see if I could hunt with a slingshot in Wisconsin. And the DNRs had the proposal a couple of times. They just never voted on it. So that's the only reason I knew, is I uncovered it then. You're very accurate. Well, I'm not having the best day today, but it's fun. I try. Some days I can hit anything, and some days I can't hit nothing. Some nasty weather up here by Green Bay right now. Yeah, it's going to be coming down my way soon, so you should try archery. I'm actually an archery instructor for the archery club in the basement of my church. We meet on Tuesday nights. I suck at archery. The kids out shoot me like crazy. Part of my problem is my hand, this finger, you can see is different. And to hold the arrow, the pressure on there, I have nerve damage in that finger. And it's just hard to hold the bow consistently. And I can teach you how to shoot. I can teach you the fundamentals to get you shooting right. And I can run a range, but not a very good shot. But it's fun. I like it. Yeah, a couple questions about archery. New Mexico, Shawano. I've been to Shawano. I used to film weddings for a living, and one of my first weddings was actually in Shawano. Yes, I am a Royal Ranger. I have been since the 60s when they started. Down in Texas, I was one. And I'm a commander here in our outpost here in Wisconsin. Band lasts longer than a Crossman. I believe the Crossman, you're talking about those big tubes. Those, depending on how hard you pull them, if you pull them back really hard, they're not going to last long. I had a wrist rocket when I started, and I actually tore the pouch off the band, the tubes. Thanks for streaming. Hey, it's fun. I like it. I'm trying to get caught up on this, and now I'll go hang this can. I got a shepherd sling and found it more fun than my BB gun at the time. Yeah, shepherd slings are cool. I've got one that I made out of paracord. I just haven't learned how to shoot it, throw it yet. It's really hard. Do they sell wrist rockets or just slingshots? They sell. There's a thing that they have. There's a sling they have called the Hammer XT. And I actually have one, and it's set up to actually shoot arrows like archery. And it is a wrist rocket style. It has the wrist brace. You put heavier bands on it, and it helps you stabilize. And yes, they do still sell them like that, but they're much more technologically advanced than the wrist rockets you buy at the big box store. Great night, White North on deck. So you're from Canada. All right, let's go hang. We're going to go cut a can. I'm going to take the bell down and hang this there. There we go. Cutting cans are one of the most fun things to do slingshot shooting. It's just a blast. The sound, picking up ammo I dropped. The smack from the can is awesome. And watching when you finally make that last shot, when the thing falls, it's very rewarding. It's not the hardest thing to do because the can is big. Hitting those little targets is a lot harder, but it's one of the most rewarding things to do. The likes are starting to take off for me. Yes, thanks, Cody King. Yes, my subs are going way up too. I'm very happy about that. I passed the 1,000 mark yesterday, ahead of Andy Lowe. That made me very happy. Now I just got to get my watch hours up, and I'm on pace to do that in the next quarter. I need to hit that 4,000 watch hours to be a real YouTuber. And I'm sitting over 2,000 in the last 90 days. Let's shoot. Okay, I've got a can up there. Let's hit it. Here we go. Is anything cooler than that sound? I mean, really. That was a good smack. Whoop. Again, for you newcomers, this is a new, more advanced style of shooting that I'm still learning. I'm getting much better at it. But my accuracy is not what standard shooting is yet. But I'm getting better every day. I'm high, so I know what I got to do. Just a little off. I had the height right that time. Ooh, we hit the bottom, put a dent in it. That wasn't a good hit, but we got it. Put out lots of content. I'm trying. Cody, I've been putting out a lot of content. I've got a video set to release on the 16th where I actually compare the purple and pink from tritium. I do some science testing on them. And I made a video the other day and published it today for the bow sling, the Hammer XT from Simpleshot, shooting arrows next to an archery setup. I tested speeds and draw weights and things like that to see, did a little more science in. I'm a little bit of a nerd. Ooh, I told you it sounds cool. Some people take the tin cans and they stomp them flat and then they hang them up as a target, and they last a lot longer and still have that cool sound. Thanks, Cody. Much appreciated. Hey, buddy, Cody, you're on here all the time. Can I make you a moderator? You join my lives a lot, and I need a few people to be moderators. Sometimes we get trolls on here and people asking questions that aren't related to slingshot shooting that I really don't want to deal with. Can I make you a moderator, buddy? I'd much appreciate it. If not, that's fine. I'm shooting high. You're used to being blue. All right, hang on one second. Add as moderator, standard moderator. There. Now I think every time you log on to one of my lives, you'll automatically be made a moderator. I think I got 2 right now. I'm looking to get 4 or 5. That way people don't have to be on all the time or every time. Like, I love watching Andy and Josh in the mornings, but because I work, sometimes I'm only on for 10 or 15 minutes, may leave a comment and leave. Boy, I'm not shooting good on this. But it's still fun because we get more smacks on it. And the bands that I'm using on this long draw are they're longer and skinnier than they need to be. So I'm not getting the speed out of these that I am with my short draw slingshot. If I pulled my short draw out, I'd have that sucker cut in no time. But I'm still learning the technique. And if they're not real fast, it's a little easier to learn because they're more forgiving. So that's why it takes a few more hits. Usually with my short draw slingshot at about 220 feet per second, I can usually cut a can in 15 to 20 hits. My best ever is 9. I just had a perfect hit one day and cut that sucker right in half. Oh, that was a good smack on the bottom. Sometimes you lean your head too much. Yeah, Sam, do you get them kisses? Not from girls, that's for sure. I got a few of them. Add me as a mod. I don't have a job. Charlie Bell, you join my lives enough and I will add you as a mod, but I'm doing it with people that I know from the hobby and from the Sling community that I know and trust. Not that you're a bad guy. I believe you might be a good guy, but I just want to know who I'm talking to. So become a regular and I'll make you a mod, but unfortunately it doesn't pay anything. It's just you're doing it because you like it. Yeah, no kisses, believe me. Those kisses hurt, and I've gotten 3 over the weekend. Like I usually mention, you get them when you're not paying attention. You get them when you're not paying attention and your basics and your fundamentals go down. That's what causes them. Whew. We smacked it that time. You're a bad boy. You say you're a bad boy, Samuel, but you're cleaning your act up, buddy. You're learning. You're a young kid. You got some good mentors, some people in this community that if you follow their advice and respect them, then they'll help you out in a lot of ways. There's just something about as you get older, you just been around the block. I still make stupid statements and say things I shouldn't be and I shouldn't say and get in trouble at work. So you never outgrow it. Man, I can't hit nothing tonight. Raccoon is always in here too. Yeah, I think I might have made him a mod one time. Can't remember. I made Squatch one. He's in here a lot. Whoa, that was a terrible shot. Sorry it's taking so long, folks. But you just get to hear the smack more. Low, low, low. Bring your reference down. Raise the shot. Now am I. There's some adults in the community that aren't good influences on kids. I can't argue that. I try and be a good influence because I'm an encourager, and I work with kids, and I'm mentors to young men. So um, I try and keep my content family friendly. Stay out of politics. You start asking me questions about current events, I will ignore you. I want what I create to be family friendly. There's a couple other slingers that do some not safe for work stuff. Sling and Nerd, he's hilarious. He's just having fun. It's just not what I want to do. But he's got a good crowd, and he does a good job at what he does. So I'm not going to be a critique of any at all, because he's good for the community. Man, I'm hitting them targets behind it like mad. Maybe I should have you come do this, Sam. I know you're a dead eye. I have to mind my P's and Q's. Yeah. Raccoon, you want to be a moderator too? Somebody said they recommended you because you're on all the time. Of course, if you have to mind your P's and Q's, that might not be a good thing. Make you a moderator. I'm happy to do it though. They're raking Raccoon. We're getting some holes in that sucker. Hi from Sweden. You might be the first one from Sweden that we've had. I had somebody from Egypt and Istanbul the other day. That was cool. All right, Raccoon, you're going to be a moderator. So anytime you log on to my lives, you're automatically a moderator. Just keep the trolls at bay. That's all I ask. Mr. Philip, part-time plinker. Or is it Philippe? That looks like a French version of Philip. Howdy, part-time. Hi, all from the UK. Awesome. Christopher had said hello. Hello there. We got UK on. We got people from all over. I love it. That's what I like about these lives. It brings people together from everywhere. Oh, Roy showed up. Mr. Long Draw. He's watching me try and cut a can now on my long draw. Someday I'll get as good at Roy as Roy is at long draw. I can smoke him on short draw. Long draw, not so much. Oh, we're beating the crap out of that can. Well, that was a good solid right down the middle. I'm using 8 or 9.5. I shoot everything 8 just because I'm not really strong. So when I'm shooting short draw, I can use smaller, thinner bands. I've settled on it, and I really like it. Plus, I have a boatload of it. Right before the tournament, I bought like 2,000 rounds, and I already had about 1,200 rounds. So I got a lot of it. I lose a few every time I shoot, plus some I don't find, and then it gets rusty, and I throw them away. Oh, it's starting to tear good now. It won't be long. We'll have that baby down. When a can starts getting to where it's falling over, I like to shoot at the bottom when it's hanging, because just the force of that hit will rip the rest of it apart. You don't have to actually cut it all the way. You can just, it'll rip then. What a beautiful night. Luckily, there's like a 10 to 12 mile an hour wind, but it's from the south, so my garage blocks it. So I'm pretty much out of the wind here. As the wind picks up and makes my bands flutter. You're very good with a slingshot. Where are you with a gun? I have a couple of guns. Um, whenever I never got to shoot guns as a kid, and whenever an adult or someone I was around had one and they let me shoot it, I usually did fairly well with it, considering I'd never shot. Oop, let me go move the can back. I can still talk because I got a microphone. But a few years back, my wife and I, we got our concealed carry and we got some guns. And in the process, I ended up buying a 22 just for fun with a little cheap scope on top. And once I got it dialed in, I'm decent with it. I'm not going to win any tournaments, but unfortunately, I live in town. I have a friend that lives outside of town with a little shooting range in his backyard, and I just haven't been out in a while. But I would love to get out this summer and shoot that 22. I got a boatload of ammo for it. I got a friend who's a cop, was an ex-cop from the south side of Chicago. He shoots slingshots too, but dude, it's like I turn around every month, he's getting another gun. Oh, that was a good hit. It's good that you're good with the G2 and you like guns. I like stuff that shoots. I grew up in the city. I grew up in Houston. Never got to shoot guns. Whenever I'd go to Mississippi to visit my mom's family, they'd let me. I'd shoot that pellet gun the whole time I was there. Knock a few birds down out in the country. And then I moved to Miami. Never had a gun there. I got a Red Ryder BB gun a couple of years ago for Christmas, and I shot it so much the whole inside of the barrel flew out the end. You know, I would just kind of shoot it in the yard and stuff, but I've always liked to shoot stuff. I've just never been in a place where I could do it. That's why I like slingshots. I'm in my backyard in the middle of town. This way, right there, like 20 yards, 30 yards from me is an auto repair store. There's a house there. There's a house next to it. There's a house across the street. I'm 1 block off of Main Street. If I shoot that way and miss something, it could go through a car's windshield on Main Street. Because slingshots are quiet, people think you're just playing with a toy. They think I'm being Tom Sawyer or Dennis the Menace out back here. My neighbor, this is funny, my neighbor that lives 2 houses down there, I was out shooting the other day getting ready to do a live, and he came over and we were talking, and he just thought it was the coolest thing that I was a YouTuber. And so he goes in and he sends a link to my stream to his father-in-law and says, check it out, this guy, I just met this guy, he's a YouTuber, look, he's shooting slingshots in his backyard. And then he points his camera from the window of his garage right over here, and it was me doing my live stream. I thought that was kind of cool. So his father-in-law was here over the weekend, and he came over and talked to me a bunch. And so I'm pretty sure he's subscribed. He might even be on, who knows? That thing is just hanging. What's up, all? Slingburger, buddy. Mudbug, another one of my friends. Must be nice to have a big enough property. Trust me, part-time. This property is not big. I'm at 10 meters. That's my garage. And just a couple feet on the other side is the house. And then a couple feet on the other side of the house is the sidewalk and the street. And I got maybe 20 meters to the road. If I want to shoot 15 meters, I can stay in my yard. If I want to shoot 25 yards, which is the long shot competition length, I have to go into the parking lot of the business in my backyard. So it's not a very big yard. I wouldn't even say it's a quarter of an acre. It's just I have the layout here as such that I can at least set up a 10-meter shooting range. But yeah, I know some houses in the middle of cities, they're like 5 feet apart. Boy, it's just barely hanging. One good hit's coming down. Next goal is 2,000. Of course, 2,000. My next goal, Sam, is not necessarily 2,000. My next goal is to get 4,000 watch hours in a 365-day period. Everybody thinks you only need 1,000 scrubs to make money on YouTube. Subs. To make money on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in a year span. Right now, over the last 365 days, I'm on about 2,100, and over the last quarter is like 1,900 of those hours. So I'm very well on track. These lives really help. So once I get there, that's my next goal. I'm going to have to make a video soon because I want to have a giveaway for my 1,000 subscriber. I just haven't figured out how to run the giveaway yet. I think I have an idea, but I haven't figured it out completely. I'm going to make an announcement here soon. I'll make a video on my channel and put it on the Facebook groups so people can know about it. The problem is half of my subscribers are RC plane and aviation people. So I don't want to make the giveaway strictly slingshots. Although I'm hoping slingshots are who win it because you're the ones that are making my channel go. But if some of my RC friends win, I'm going to get them a $50 gift card to a hobby store. And if my Slingshot friends win, they're getting a $50 gift card to Simpleshot, of course. You're good at being a scub. What are you shooting? I'm shooting a Slingshot. No, I'm just kidding. I am shooting 8mm steel balls. Tournament widths are 7mm, 8mm, and 9.5mm. I've settled on 8. It fits me, fits in my hand nice. I can use gentler bands so I don't have to be as strong. I don't get tired as quick. It's just a happy medium because I'm not hunting. I'm hitting every target but that can. All right, Raking Raccoon. All this time you've been on my live and you never subbed to my channel. Dude, and I made you a moderator. Oh, unless you were subscribing to Sam's channel. Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know, I'm being stupid now. Oh, I tipped it, but it didn't do any damage. This is taking way longer than it should. There it goes. Do you guys see it drop? Boink. It's gone. Let me go grab it. Oh, Raccoon's talking to Sam. Okay. I was going to say, Raccoon, you better be subscribed to my channel, dude. Ooh. There you have it. Cut the can. I'll throw that away when I'm done. All right. Let's get this crazy slingshot out. My pickle fork. This is the more advanced even than the long draw. It's long draw with a really weird frame. And if you get the fundamentals wrong on this, you'll get a sore finger. I'm going to do a can cut on my Slingshot slow-mo for my channel. Just hitting the can, but I want to have the slow motion of it cutting and falling. And I got a Monster Energy can from somebody at work, and I'm going to use it for that. I'm saving it for that one. Just waiting for some good weather. I messed up. I hit the frame. Thankfully, it didn't hit me. Now, did I do any damage? I just rebanded this because one of the bands was coming off. Got lazy. Let's try this again. Hi. Like I said, this is a more advanced style of shooting that I'm still learning. But I'm getting better at it. And slowly but surely. My custom frame that I ordered from Josh Hicks is for this shooting right here. I'm getting a Nova PS from Dave. I'm getting a piston gapper from Mr. Josh. Can't wait. Do you ever fly a Zag? I know what you're talking about. I can't remember if I ever have. I've got friends with them. I don't know that I've ever flown a Zaggy, but I have flown a few flying wings. So I know exactly what you're talking about. The coolest flying wing I ever had was the Strix Goblin from Ready Made RC. That thing was a barrel of fun. Oh, I had a flying wing. It was my first RC plane that I hit 100,000 an hour with. It was an S800 from Banggood. And we put a big old massive motor on it, and it was FPV, so I had goggles with a heads-up readout on it. My first ever plane over 100 miles an hour. That was cool. But I have now exceeded that. I have a Horizon Hobby Electro Streak with a big nasty motor on it and an oversized prop, and I have a GPS module in it that transmits to my radio. Last year I got 142 miles an hour out of a dive. See what happens when you do it wrong? Guess I'm not shooting that anymore. All right, I'm starting to wind down. I'm starting to get tired. So we're going to start winding this down. We've been on an hour and 15 minutes. With a triple band. You must be talking about one of them Amazon, eBay, Temu slingshots. They have triple tubes. Is that what you're talking about? Aloha from Hawaii. I only use single bands. The triple bands, the ones I've seen are triple tubes. They're like considered the hunting slingshots on Amazon and junk. And generally they're not worth the money. Man, I'm shooting terrible now. Thanks, Andy. I'm glad you have fun. I love to teach. I love to show people how to do stuff. Encourage people. If you think the hobby's fun, go to my channel and watch the basics. There's a link to it in the description. And it kind of introduces you to the world of slingshots and gets you shooting. If you want to buy slingshots, Simpleshot in the US is the best place to go. If you're in Europe, I think there's a company over there called Wasp that makes some really nice slingshots. There are some decent slingshots to be found on Amazon. The first one that I sort of learned to aim and shoot with was a $15 stainless steel one from Amazon. I still got it, and it taught me to shoot until I got the better ones, and it's a viable slingshot. It shoots great. You just got to dial it in and dial your fundamentals in to shoot with it. Nothing wrong with it. I know a lot of people over in Asia shoot those kind of slingshots. Just some of the ones on with all the gimmicks, those are silly. But I actually bought a gimmick slingshot the other day off of Amazon, and I got it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to do a review on it soon. It's kind of weird. It's the wonkiest, funkiest, stupid-looking slingshot I've ever seen, so I had to buy it. I'm all over the place with this thing. I should be shooting better. There we go. That was better. People use slingshots for hunting. Yes, they do. It's against the law to hunt with them where I live. I live in the U.S. in Wisconsin. I think we're one of 17 states, I believe, in the U.S. where you cannot hunt with a slingshot. I'm not an outdoor hunter, wild game person, so I don't really care. I just do it for fun because I like it. As far as hunting goes, you're probably going to be using bigger ammo like 9.5 millimeter or even 11 millimeter, the size of a marble. And you will take some significantly bigger bands with more speed on them and more kinetic energy from that big piece of steel that you're throwing at them. I know a lot of people hunt rabbits and squirrels with these. They could take birds. A lot of people, especially over in Asia, they shoot pigeons and quail and dove with them. You know, the ones that sit on the roof all the time and poop on everything. Something as big as a raccoon is going to be a little bit more difficult. It's hard to hit kill a raccoon with a 22, much less a slingshot. So yeah, you can hunt with them. It's illegal where I live. Like I said, I don't hunt anyway. I'm not a wild game person. Give me a steak, chicken, or pork, and potatoes or rice. I don't even like seafood. My wife and I, neither one of us like seafood. I shot a carp at my friend's house. He lives on the river in town. I didn't kill it, but I smacked him pretty good. Johnny MES said hi. Hello, Johnny. I'm shooting my good slingshot, and I'm not shooting it well. Oh, maybe I'm doing a little better now. Can't hunt with them in Louisiana either. It's another one of those states. And as big as hunting is here in Wisconsin, hunting in Wisconsin is nuts. I mean, at the opening of deer season, you got close to 1 million guys out in the woods with firearms looking for deer. But they don't let you use a slingshot. My guess is if you hit a squirrel or a rabbit, unless you hit them really well and get a humane kill on them, it's a pretty gruesome death. Because basically, you're clubbing them in the head with a pellet. They got tornadoes around me? Not right now. Somebody else was on from up in Green Bay, northern Wisconsin, and they said it was really bad up there. It's supposed to start raining here around 11, and then I think we're going to get like 2 or 3 days of just rain all the time. That's springtime in Wisconsin. Cranberry Axiom. Yeah, they don't make it anymore. And I got it at the very tail end. I must have, because I only got it like 6 or 8 months ago. And I practiced a lot of stuff with it, and I made a lot of mistakes, as I've shown on the line before. Those are all frame hits from where you screw up. So when you mess things up or you do something fundamentally wrong, your ammo hits the frame and will cut your band as well, which is what happened on my other one. You hit here and it messes up, and it's aluminum, so I've had to file it down to get the sharp edges away. But now it's a sense of pride. I call it patine. How many miles an hour? Okay, you're going to have to do some mathing here, Andy. I don't know the miles per hour, but I can tell you feet per second. Maybe you can do the math. I did a comparison of the pink latex and purple latex because they're both from the same company, and they're both the same width, and evidently one of them was supposed to be a little snappier. The purple is supposed to be snappier for short draw. So I got a scale to measure the draw weight, and I got a chronograph to measure the speed that measures it in feet per second. Identical bands, pink and purple. I was getting between 210 and 220 feet per second. So if you want to do the math, you can do the math. Now, one disclaimer. There's some math and some science that goes on where technically when you figure out how long your band should be, you do an elongation test, you measure an inch on your band, and then you stretch it, see how many inches it stretches out to. Then you divide your draw length by that number, and that's how long your band should be. I make mine extra long. I make mine a little longer than I need because it makes them last a lot longer. I don't want to be making bands constantly. So I'm not getting full speed out of these. I'm getting about 220. So I would say if I cut an inch off of these bands and made them the right length, I might be pushing 240, 250. I saw somebody shooting long draw the other day, and he had chronograph out, and he got 270. So they rip. They'll hurt. Imagine if David had one of these. You know, that slingshot that he had, the shepherd sling or the par sling, I think they call them. Those things, when thrown accurately and properly, those pack a much bigger punch than what I'm shooting. Because those can throw big rocks, golf ball size things, and that amount of speed that you can build up on the backswing and as you follow through, I think those might be having more feet per second than what I've got, plus the mass and kinetic energy in that ammo that he would throw. So I'm thinking I would much rather be on the receiving end of my slingshot than a well aimed shepherd sling. I've seen videos of guys throwing those out in the lakes and out in the country, and they're knocking limbs off of trees with those things. So I would not want to be one of those. Yeah, shepherd slings are no joke. I got a slingshot rifle that I can go through a 1/4-inch plywood. Yeah, I would like to play with a slingshot rifle. I may have to invest with one of those one day. I'm having too much fun with these right now. Ooh, got the leather one on the bottom. I'm beating those leather ones up. Giuseppe, said I. Hello. I would you like to learn the shepherd sling? Yeah, I've got one. I made it out of paracord. I just where I live, because I'm in town in the city, I have nowhere to practice it. Because when you're not accurate with those, they go everywhere. I tried it a few times when I was camping, and what I was throwing either went in the ground or straight up. So yeah, I want to learn to throw those too, just because they're cool. So I'm gonna have to take one on a walk on the walking paths around town and by the railroad tracks where they got lots of rocks and try it. Can't hunt with it. It's illegal to hunt with a slingshot rifle in North Carolina, but you can hunt with a regular slingshot. That's because the slingshot rifle probably isn't, well, it's a slingshot, but it doesn't look like one. All right, we're pushing an hour and a half, folks. We're down to 59 people with 98. Oh, that was a 1/4 inch. Somehow I got a 1/4 inch in my pile. Must have picked that up at the tournament. Right, I'm starting to get tired. My back's starting to hurt. I think I need to call it a. Please make a video with the shepherd sling. You know what, Andy? Mark my words. If I ever learn to throw it, I will. If I ever learn to use it, because it is hard. And it would be a fun video to do. I can use it unless it's pest control. Yep, that's what I do, Sam. We can't hunt with slingshots here, but chipmunks are considered pests. Squirrels are considered game. You have to have a license for them. Chipmunks and raccoons are pests. So I actually control the chipmunks in my end of the neighborhood with my slingshot. My neighbor this way and my neighbor that way both appreciate it because they hate the chipmunks too. So I've handled a few of them with my slingshot. I have to use thicker bands because I got a little more speed on them. I hit one with a 40, my .45 the other day. It just kind of smacked him and he ran away. So I need to get the bigger bands on that. They use tennis balls in the tournament. I bet they do with the paraslings. That makes a lot of sense. I do want to learn to throw one because it would be fun to take that to the Midwest Spring Sling next year and show people how to do it. So maybe this summer I'll be able to get to that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to log off. I'm getting, sun's starting to set. It's getting hard to see, and I need to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Hey, make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate all the subs. Help me get to those 4,000 watch hours. Go check out some of my slow-mo videos. There's some cool ones. That water balloon and glitter bomb one was pretty epic. And I got a couple of really good ideas for more. I just need the weather to cooperate and the time to make them because I do still work a full-time job. So anyway, I'm having fun. I enjoy these times with all my friends and the people from around the world that are interested in this. Remember, if you're interested, go check out my basics, and you can learn how to shoot that way. And if you're looking for a slingshot, hit that Simpleshot link and it'll take you, and you can get all kind of stuff from them. So good night, guys. God bless, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. Later, everyone.